Hi, and welcome to Living in El Paso, Texas. My name is John Pena, and in this video, we're going to do a neighborhood spotlight on the far west. Hi, thank you so much for checking out the YouTube channel. My name is John Pena, your local real estate agent here in El Paso, Texas. If you are considering buying, selling, investing in El Paso, Texas, please consider reaching out on the information on your screen. If you're looking for just information about El Paso as a place, as a destination to visit, by all means, that's the kind of content that we're looking to do as well, so please consider subscribing to the channel. And in today's video, we are doing one of our final neighborhood spotlights, and we're focusing specifically on an area called, well, I'm calling it the Far West. Now, the last video that we did, make sure you check it out, was all about the west side, but there's kind of a differentiation in areas, so I wanted to actually make two different videos. So if you look on the map here, you can see Interstate 10 runs north-south west of the Franklin Mountains. So everything east or to the right of Interstate 10, that's what we're calling the west side, okay? But everything to the west or to the left of Interstate 10 is an area that I'm calling the far west. So, question of the day is, and please consider leaving a comment after you watch this video, maybe you watch the west side video, for you, far west or west? And let me tell you some of the differences between the areas quickly. So, the far west, if you haven't figured out where I am, you're probably like, where is this guy? Well, actually, believe it or not, we're standing in the middle of the Rio Grande River. So, as you can see, there's no water in the river right now. It is end of January 2022, and typically in the winter, water isn't coming into the river, right? So, upstream of us, the water's been cut off. There's no water in the Rio Grande, as you can see. However, spring, summer, that's going to change. They're going to release the water from upriver, and that brings me to a very unique characteristic of the far west, and that is we're down at basically the lowest elevation you can really be at. The west side is over this way, and on the west side, the elevations, they just get higher, higher, and higher. So once you get into, the west side, some of those areas, all of them, Cimarron Canyon, Bear Ridge, you're up higher elevations, right? And you've got better mountain views because you're so close to the mountains, right? However, down here at the Rio Grande River, we're at a lower elevation. And what that means for people who live here is that a lot of them have water rights. So one of the areas that we're going to focus today on is an area called the Upper Valley. The Upper Valley, amongst other areas, has water rights, and it means that water comes from the river and it gets diverted through these canals, and then if you so choose and you have water rights on your property, you can open up this canal and you can flood your land. And so what you'll notice in the far west is that there's a lot more green, right? It's not so deserty, right? There's more grass, there's more trees. People have tree orchards. Nut orchards are big here, pecans, walnuts. You can have gardens, right? Because you, as somebody who owns property in these areas, you have water rights, and you, like I said, you can use that water to, most people use it for landscaping primarily. So the other thing is that we're also in an area where you can drill a well. One of my favorite videos is a video that we did on Conatillo. Conatillo is on the far west. We'll pop it up here on the map. It's further up north, but lots of folks there, water rights, can drill a well. So if you're more leaning towards family compounds and forward thinking, potentially off-grid living, sustainability, permaculture, these types of things, this is definitely an area that you should consider. So one of the other differences about the far west is that it hasn't seen the explosion of growth that the areas like the Far East and Horizon City have. The Upper Valley, for instance, you're gonna see these are older homes. They've been around for a very long time. There's nothing really all that new about them. However, that is starting to change because one of the areas that we're going to showcase is an area off of Camino Nogal. Now, these are some amazing homes, and if you like looking at amazing homes, you should check out 2 of our videos from the past called Parade of Homes, because Parade of Homes took place on Camino Nogal last May, I believe it was, and we did little home video tours of those homes. So if you want to see inside those homes, definitely an area and some videos to check out. But there is new construction happening here. And to wrap up this idea of new construction, we're also going to focus, for the first time ever on this channel, a little area in New Mexico. So New Mexico is this way. Now, literally, if I drove 2 miles that direction, I would be in New Mexico. So we have featured some elements of New Mexico, primarily the wineries, but we haven't talked about the food, the houses in New Mexico. So one of the areas that's that way in New Mexico is an area called Santa Teresa. Now, Santa Teresa has a really unique background story, and again, some older homes, but they are starting to build brand new housing developments in Santa Teresa. It is in New Mexico. I am getting my real estate license in New Mexico, so this is another opportunity for people specifically that may want to avoid the high property taxes of El Paso, Texas, right? Property taxes here in El Paso, Texas trend around 3% of your appraised value. In New Mexico, they trend much closer to about 0.8 to 1%. So if you're retired or you just don't like paying property taxes, that could be another option. And quite honestly, you could live in Santa Teresa. It's literally, I don't know, maybe 5 to 8 miles this way. So, you know, you're gonna feel like you're in El Paso, but you're gonna offset those property taxes. So, without further ado, Alex is going to break down a couple of the areas in the far west. And again, if you've watched the video on the west side, please consider commenting below. For you, which place appeals to you more, the far west or the west?
Now we're going to be talking about our neighborhood spotlights on the west side, part 2. Now all these neighborhoods we're going to be talking about are going to be west of I-10. The first neighborhood we're going to be talking about is called Camino Nogal. Now this neighborhood is going to be located, like I mentioned, west of I-10, north of 178 Artcraft Road, and west of Rio Grande. Now the homes here are going to be built from 2005 all the way to 2021, and new construction is 2022. The homes here are going to range from $170,000 to $1.2 million with an average of $300,000. Now you do gonna find some fast food restaurants in the area, but you might have to drive a little bit less than 10 minutes to get to a Walmart Supercenter, and there's a shopping center in there that you can find a lot of other restaurants and shops. There's a Cabela's, there's a couple shopping options there. And if you drive about 10 to 15 minutes, you're gonna be able to get to the outlet shops of El Paso, and you're gonna find a lot of more options there for shopping as well as for food. You do gonna have one church in that neighborhood. There's a couple nice parks as well, and there's a couple elementary schools nearby. Now the second neighborhood we're gonna be talking about is called Upper Valley. Now this neighborhood is gonna be located close to the New Mexico border. Actually, some of the homes in this neighborhood are gonna be on the side of New Mexico. Some of these homes are gonna be on the Texas side, and some of these homes are gonna have some property part is gonna be in New Mexico, and the other part of the property is gonna be on the Texas side. Now the homes here are gonna be built from 1921 to 2007. The homes there are gonna be ranging you from $140,000 to $2.3 million with an average of $433,000. Now northeast of this neighborhood, you're gonna have what is called Mesa Street, which I mentioned before is one of the most popular streets in the west side. You're gonna find anything there from a grocery store, shopping centers, food, restaurants, anything you can imagine is gonna be in Mesa Street. I'll say probably 5 to 10 minutes driving from that specific neighborhood. You do have a church in there called St. Matthew Catholic Church, and we do have the El Paso Country Club. Really fancy. I've never been there, but really fancy country club. This is a really nice, I'll say, more expensive neighborhood overall, and I think the country club kind of does the same standards. Apparently, it was created in 1906, and according to their website, I'm gonna quote them, they're the most prestigious country club in El Paso. Like I said, I've not been there. I'm sure it's very nice. I drove outside of it. But yeah, it looks very, very nice. They do have golf, tennis, swimming, gym, events, and dining. And it's a membership only. But if you have a membership, I think it extends to your immediate family, which is your wife. And if you have kids, I believe up to 25 that are unmarried. That neighborhood has 2 very nice parks as well. And they do have an elementary school. Now the last neighborhood we're going to be talking about is called Santa Teresa, New Mexico. Now obviously this neighborhood is going to be located in New Mexico. For those of you who don't know, John has his real estate license in New Mexico as well. This neighborhood is going to be located west of Rio Grande, and then the homes here are going to be built from 1976 to new construction of 2022. Now the homes here are going to range you from $175,000 to $1.2 million with an average of $290,000. When it comes down to food, shopping, there's not very many options in the immediate vicinity, but probably 10-minute drive from that area, and you're gonna be able to find a Walmart and a couple other options when it comes down to food. Like I said, I do know there's like Dollar Generals and a couple fast foods in the immediate vicinity, but if you want a Walmart or something like that, you do have to drive about 10 minutes, which is not bad at all. There is also a bunch of clinics, I would say probably 5 or 10 minutes as well from that specific neighborhood.